Hi, this is Zach Anderson, and in today's video, I will be going over homework number 4. So without further ado, let's begin. So we start at this, we see we have our file here, kind of describing everything we need to do, different types of records we need to generate, things of that nature, what report to generate, stuff like that. So after we are done going over this, we're good to move on to the next step. The next step that I took was to come over here to my XAMPP control panel. So I currently have the Apache and the SQL modules running, and this Apache module was used for my PHP file in order to generate my data, which I will get to shortly, and then my SQL server is running because that is in order to connect to dbeaver and to actually do the project. So we're good with that, so let's move on. Next, we come over here into our PHP file, and here we have our generate data PHP, and the point of this file is going to be, as it states, to generate data, which will be in this data.sql file ultimately. So we made sure this code is right, and then it generated this SQL file for us. So I just have it open here just so we can see the mountains of data that was provided. After we do this, we're good to move on to the next step. This is just a real quick stop off, but I wanted to show how I use the terminal on my PC, and this is how I ultimately generated the data SQL. So I changed the directory and made sure to go to the exact location of my generate data PHP file, and then this in turn ran and generated my SQL file. So let's move on to the next one. Finally, we end up here on our dbeaver, and like previously, we made sure that our XAMPP was running so that we are in order to connect. And we can see the green little check mark here on our local host, letting us know that we are connected. So a few different things we did here in order to ensure that everything was running. So first, we have our local script. So this is our schema SQL, and we went through this variety of times just to make sure it ran correctly. So after this was set, I couldn't figure out quite how to import my data SQL, so I made a script in here and just copied it in here. So all's the same at the end of the day. So here is our data.sql that we generated using the terminal a little bit ago. And we see just, again, the mountain of information present within this. Now that these were running, we executed the SQL script, which I'm not going to do here because unfortunately it does take a few minutes, but we will see the results of me running that. So after we work those bugs out, we now see that all of our different tables, like here's our address table, product, warehouse ID, and warehouse ID, product ID, quantity, price, all of the necessary data has been filled in from our generated data. So this ensures us that everything did in fact work correctly. And at the end, we can see what we saw before, just our diagram for our Superstore database that kind of overshows everything and where it's all stored. So yeah, now that we've seen all that and everything works perfectly, we should be all good to go. Thank you for watching.